Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. Before we have a closer look at all the content, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game and improve it even more, scan the QR code that is here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy you can find in the description down below. That will take you to our platform where you can find all our premium guides, checkpoint challenge, tour play, and tournament play. Last but not least, the info box on the right hand side gives you the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. On hole number 9 of the Eagle Peak, we want to play the right-hand side. However, I totally understand that the right-hand side is a much more narrow fairway, and there will be a little bit more risk on the drive playing on the right-hand side. But the benefit you have from playing there is that you do have an approach that gives you a much better chance for an albatross than if you would be playing left. But if you do want to play left-hand side, use as much topspin you can on your drive, try to just blast it down there. You have loads of fairway to play on, and then just play the second shot to green and grab yourself the eagle and move on. On the right hand side, it's all about getting the correct topspin on the drive. You can use the topspin I'm using here in the video as a reference and use a little bit more in crosswind and then a little bit more than that in headwind. Max plus 20 is the adjustment, and the closer you get to the rough, the better it's going to be. For those of you that do have the possibility to play with a power 4 ball or better, then I recommend to do that, because that will safeguard being short on the approach. Because if you do not have high level clubs here, and especially with the sniper, then you're going to have to be a bit innovative and use whatever you have. Because we do want to use a spot on the fairway that is pretty high up. And you will not be able to reach there if you do have a lower level sniper. So I would recommend a sniper level 8 plus as per minimum if you do play with a P3 ball. And if you do have a P5 ball, for an example, or a P4 ball, you can play with sniper 6 or sniper 7. And the benefit from using the sniper is the ball guideline, because if we can have the ball guideline showing that it goes into the hole, then that's going to be much easier. The intention with this type of shot here is to not go directly into the hole. I want the ball to roll past the pin and fall back into the funnel and roll into the hole. But the reason I suggest the info box the sniper is because the sniper is the far superior club if we compare with the Horizon, because here you can see we come in nicely, but you just have too much spin. And that's very easy to do when you do not have a good ball guideline to follow. But an albatross here in hole number 9 is definitely makeable, but will be an advantage if you have good clubs. Hole number 6, we're gonna play down the right hand side here. Sure, you can play left hand side if you would so like, but then you're gonna have to play with a different driver. The benefit from the playing the right hand side is that it's gonna make it as conservative as you possibly can, whereof it's a little bit more aggressive on the left hand side due to having to bounce over the water. 3 top spin, 3 left spin, and we're using some curl to push the ball in left. We're using our quarterback, and we are doing a max plus 10, getting to around 300 yards. From there, we're gonna play with our sniper. Now I can see we do not have the sniper here on the second shot. We're gonna have it there, and we're gonna play this one as a bounce over, and it's gonna be no elevation here for the sniper. And you can see that I'm playing with no spin. So I'm trying to simplify this second shot as much as possible. For those that do want to go a little bit more aggressive, you can play for a rough bump a little bit higher up if you would so like. Not something you have to do, but it's something that is definitely possible. Perfect ball it is, and it bounced on the fairway up onto the green, and we're missing just left. But this is definitely a good chance for an albatross. On the drive here, when having a wind coming right to left, that's honestly the worst thing you can have, because that means that you do have a headwind towards the pin on the second shot, as the whole hole here is going straight up and then right. Adjust max plus max plus 10 here of T. I'm using all the top spin that I can, and I'm also using the 2 bars of right spin. The goal here is to bounce over the rough and roll ourselves nicely down the fairway. The further down the fairway we are, the better it's going to be. And obviously the more right we can go, the better it's going to be too. So if you do have more topspin to use more topspin, allow yourself to push yourself more right, and have a much easier time to reach the green on the second shot. On the second shot on hole number 6, now we're just gonna play ourselves down towards the green, and here we do have a situation where we definitely can use the power 5 ball in our favor. So we're using all the right spin that we can, which is 2 bars, and using a little bit of backspin too. I'm moving myself way more left than what is needed really. You can go more bang on, but moving myself more left allow me to use the curl and get around the rough and give myself much more room for error. Now I hit a very bad grade right, and I end up for a wedge towards the pin, but that's still a very short and simple wedge to lock in the eagle. Hole 6 for me, regardless what wind direction you have, is to get ourselves an eagle and to be done with it. On hole number 9, we're gonna play over the water on the left hand side. The reason for that is that it will give us a much safer way to get the eagle, but most importantly, it gives us a very good look at the albatross. If you're playing on the right hand side on this course, you're gonna see yourself struggling immensely to have a chance for the albatross, and it's actually gonna be a much tougher way of saving the eagle or getting the eagle. Max plus 10 is my adjustment. I'm using all the right spin that I can together with all the top spin that I can. So for those of you that do have more top spin than 4.5, I recommend for you to use that, because the more top spin we have, the lesser overpower we can use. And that goes hand in hand as well with using a ball with, if so, more power. So let's say you play with a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball instead of the power 3 ball Titan that I'm using in the video. You give yourself a chance to start higher up and therefore don't have to use that much overpower. Now, you can decide for 2 ways of playing here. One, you go for the rough bump up there. The rough bump is a bit aggressive, so you're gonna have to kind of know your stuff to make sure that you're actually hitting rough. If you feel uncomfortable with that, then the bounce up is the way to go. And the bounce up isn't bad, but it's somewhat, with lower level clubs, doesn't really give you a decent ball guideline to follow. And I'm saying that every time, that if you do not have a decent ball guideline to follow, we are relying more and more on the luck with our aim, because we can't know for certain that we're actually aiming at the hole. No elevation on this shot, and once again we are bouncing up the fairway and getting ourselves a nice little look at the albatross. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for expert and or master division for the Go Long tournament here in Golf Clash. It's going to be a fun 18-hole tournament with tailwinds on all par 5 holes. This is going to be super interesting to see who will be the first one to break -50. To get yourself there and to get yourself a chance to break your personal record when it comes to getting a good scorecard, you sign up on patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below, or scanning the QR code. In expert and master, not or, but in expert and master, you will be able to play with free to play balls, and you will be able to use paid balls on every single hole to get yourself through the holes in the way you want it to be. Another part 5 of the Eagle Peak, hole number 6, and here we need as well to be a little bit innovative with the way we are playing. I mean, don't steer yourself blind with the extra mile and such here, because here having a lot of topspin is extremely valuable, because what that do is that you can then do a double bounce over the rough here at the top. You can hit grades on either side and still gonna be fine. You can see here what I'm doing making that double bounce. And that's kind of the normal play on this hole. If you have never played this par 5 before, that's the normal way of playing to give yourself a shot for the albatross. The other way of doing is to curl around to the right, which will be problematic with lower level clubs because you will not in that case have enough curl to get there, but you're basically just playing for an eagle if so. You could see that I had the big top at level 4, which in my opinion is too high of a level club when we play from the front tee, which is rookie division. Does that mean that this is the minimum level you need to have? No, it's not. You just need to have big top at level 1. The only difference is that you have to back up a little bit and use a little bit more. Overpower. For those that do have the luxury to have higher level clubs with the Thor's Hammer and the Apocalypse, but also extra mile, let's say Apocalypse level 6 plus, Thor's Hammer level 5 plus, and the extra mile level 9. Then you can use those clubs instead, and you have an easier time than the big topper. But if you do not have any of those club levels, then that's going to be clubs then that's going to be the big topper that we want to use. Now on the approach, we do have a rough bump, and here you can see the benefit from once again going over on the left, that we do allow ourselves to attack the pin for an albatross. But not just that, it also allows us to play a very risk-free second shot, because we have loads and loads of room on that rough. You can grades on either side, have accidental overpower, underpower, and even if you do not drop your shot, you will get yourself into the mix of being close to the pin like this and have a tap in for an eagle, but obviously in the best case scenario, we drop the albatross. The drive, we're going to play on the right side, and the reason for that is that I want to position ourselves for a rough bump on the second shot. 4.5 bar top spin, 1 left spin, ball guideline to go straight down the fairway. Adjustment is max plus 10, and then I will be applying 3 rings of overpower because I do want to push the ball further down than what it would otherwise would be if I would be just be using the overpower I adjust into. So bounce on the fairway. Now we're getting very close to the rough line, or at least closer than what I want. So maybe move a little bit more left, but it's in the end it's safe at 370 yards. Second shot on hole number 3. I'm gonna go for a rough bump. I do believe that is the best way to go for a drop here. Unfortunately, I make a mess of the adjustment and I'm adjusting too little. I'm still safe though, in the sense of that I'm getting the ball close, but it's not really what I want to. I expect myself to do a little bit better than what I do here on the screen. I'm adjusting 2.2 rings, which is a little bit too little. Should have adjusted like 2.5. Ball guideline through the hole as it is headwind, and the ball guideline will be compressed. Bounce into the rough, and it rolls up. You can see here that we need a little bit more adjustment, or we will be falling short like that. So hole 3 is a good chance in my opinion, but it's not gonna be a gimme. For hole number 3, you can see me playing with a quarterback level 7. I'm using all the top spin, which is a little bit more than 3 bars it looked like, and as much right spin that I can with a quasar. Adjust is going to be mid plus 10. Sorry about that. You can see that in the info box I do suggest a katana ball instead of a quasar. Why is that? It's because the katana will give you more power on the approach, which means that your max club will be closer to pin. It's going to give you more room, and also that it does have 3 right spin, which I do think is helpful, especially if you do have a wind coming right to left. Now, we do have like the 3 top spin here that we're using, and whilst that works, we have loads of room on the second fairway, so there's nothing wrong by using another driver that gives you more top spin. So let's say like even a lower level extra mile with a 4.5 bars of top spin would reach you a little bit longer, and then you wouldn't be that far away from the pin. Now, you know, again, if we would be rolling a little bit further, we would be closer to hole. If we would be having a ball with more power, such as katana, we would be a little bit closer to hole. And that would open up more possibilities here. Now we are forced to bounce on the fairway. I do personally enjoy having a rough bump there on the top left to attack the pin, which is not really that aggressive because there's so much rough to work on, that you have loads of room. But again, as we are going so short on the drive, we are forcing ourselves to just go with this type of bounce up play. And for me, this type of bounce up play, especially with ball guideline that is not fully developed, it's gonna be such a hit or miss, and it's very easy to miss so much that I'm doing here in the video. On the drive here on hole number 9, we do recommend to play with a club that do have a lot of topspin. The big topper is my favorite in those type of situations, because we don't really need much power here, because we can't really go over the rough and the sand with headwind there on the right side anyway. So I'm using all the topspin that I can on my big topper and making an adjustment of maximum distance +10, half a ball of right curl, and doing my very best to get this ball to the roll as far as possible. See, we bounce on the fairway nicely, we're getting it down, and now we do have a situation where we're just going to lock in the eagle. For hole number 9, we are just going to play ourselves up towards the green, or to be just close to green, to just lock in the eagle. I do not see any point of pushing too hard here, because what's gonna happen then, that is that you do risk to go into the rough or into the sand, and then we're all gonna be sad about that, because that could potentially cost us getting the eagle. This is a tough par 5, don't think anything else. So going away with an eagle here is definitely not something that everyone will be doing. So we're bouncing on the fairway, getting the ball up towards the green, and now you see here, now we do have a putt for an eagle. Sure, if we have a little luck and make the correct call, we might give ourselves a situation where we drop an albatross, but that's going to be very rare. On hole number 3, a par 5 of the Eagle Peak, we are either going on the right hand side or we're going on the left hand side. The benefit from going on the right hand side is because it's that you do not need that much curl. You can just play it down the right side and then play a shot with backspin on the approach. The benefit from playing on the left hand side is that this second shot is going to be a much better chance for a drop, because there we do not have a stupid bunker in our way when we're attacking the pin. Excuse me. We're playing with our extra mile or whatever driver that gives us the most power, looking to use all the left spin together with some top spin. What you need to have in mind here, that the side spin 3 is not forcing us to play with a kingmaker. We can play with a katana, but again, the side spin 3 is very valuable. Using some overpower here and also some left curl to get the ball down the fairway. You can hit greats on either side, even though that looked extremely scary as close we were there to the rough. Now the second shot from here is going to be played with a sniper. Like I said in the beginning of the voiceover here, the left hand side has no obstacles. You have loads of fairway to play on, and we can attack the pin from here. But again, you can play the right hand side, but that will put the bunker in play, and you're going to have to play with backspin and go over the bunker to give yourself a solid chance towards the pin. Now, we are looking to have the ball guide to hole. Here you don't have to have a sniper level 9+. You can play with a very low level sniper. As you can see, that we are not in plus yardage. What that means is that we're not close to max club, because plus yardage that you do have when it's max with a P3 ball is +11, so you have loads of room here to use on the approach. 10% elevation from here, and then whatever club distance you have. Have in mind that you do not have to use the same elevation that is suggested here in the video, but there's obviously a plan with the numbers. Albatross is definitely makeable, but there will be more eagles and albatrosses on this hole in general. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. If you do want to improve your game even more, scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below. Last but not least, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. Those 3 things will help the channel immensely. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in the Golf Clash game.